Alright, hey guys, my name is Brian Brandagatti here, and I am actually recording over this because I don't want to talk about certain things, but let's just let him talk for a little bit. And I want to point out, though, that there have been some things I actually did because of dominoes. I don't want to get into it too much, but because I got into this funny thing. I have to say that with dominoes, it made me think of this because it happened to me twice, but it's not the only time. But I don't know why it took twice this time around. But anyway, because of the charging up prices, because and there's nothing that I can tell them that's bad, even though there's things I do might find funny, but there's things I don't laugh at. There's a lot of things I don't condone. But there are, with the exceptions of those that I laugh at because they are funny, not ones that I could do myself personally or anything like that. Like, for example, and this is true, racist things or racist jokes. I do not laugh at those. I don't think they're funny, nor is being raped, which is raped. You might as well hear it. It raped. Yeah, that's not funny. That's not something to laugh about. Okay? No matter how many times television and whatnot may say, oh my God, this is so funny, and people think it's so funny because it gets so hilarity ratings because people are laughing at it. Because they're making jokes and stuff like that, and it's just a way to get away with stuff, and it's crazy. But I'm not going to sit here and start nitpicking shows and whatnot. And there have been this one dude I kind of thought was funny at one point, I think. I'm not sure, it's been too long. But anyway, he would sit there and pick up this order at McDonald's or somewhere or whatever. And he would just make it look like there was something wrong with him because he would just go plop right on the doggone steering wheel. I don't know if you've seen that or not. In other words, if you've been paying attention to the internet like that. And there have been posters of people that are either just like in the movies, only this is real. I mean, the movies may they don't try to emphasize on how fake it is, but they just try to make a lot of it seem fake. Because they're all paid actors to do in accordance to whatever is going on. And that's how the movies are even made. They always have to have some kind of bank heist or something like that going on, or whatever. But in real life, these things are not funny. They're not condemnable. They're not funny at all. But I will tell you this, okay? Like, another guy, I mean, anyway, just can't believe he kept doing that. I mean, the more I thought about it, it wasn't funny. The one that was plopping his head against the steering wheel like there was something wrong with him, you just grab his. I don't know if you've been paying attention to that or not. You probably have seen it in the past. It hasn't been recently showed up or anything. I'm not even sure what to look at under, so don't ask me. I don't know. And let's see, what else am I saying? Oh, in this video, even though I'm more clearly explaining it a little bit more in detail. What was? Oh yeah, another guy that was doing it like there was nobody in the car. Yeah, I forgot about that one before I made this video. So it wasn't until after this original video that was made here at the beginning here that I thought about. And then all of a sudden it would grab for the drinks in whatever. This other dude, I don't think it's the same guy, but I could be wrong. But anyway, so moving on. You might have noticed as well that you've got people that have done, speaking of robberies and whatnot, they take a gun, an actual real life gun, and shoot bullets in there and whatnot. And then if that ain't bad enough, you got somebody throwing fake gun bullets or something like that in there. And then the guy that does it with sound effects. That's not funny. It's not even funny when a guy comes up there and talks about, oh, well, everybody done stole everything out of his house. And then the same guy that did that, talked about stealing all this stuff out of his house, says something only about his stove. So the same thing happened where not everybody would respond, enough to go ahead and oblige this guy and cook his food on their grill. And this thing sets up like for a bunch of views, and I don't even care for it. I think it's stupid. It's not something I would ever find hilarious. And I, regardless of whether I have the balls or not, I was still not like that. I think it's stupid. And now, let's wrap this up with one more thing here. That, about, what was it? I don't know if they're the same guys who did this or not, but they actually went out of their way. One time they did this where it's the same. It's the same situation, but this first situation is okay. Domino's and Papa John's were being called on two different phones. They were, and they both picked up. And eventually, I can't remember all what happened, but something about Papa John's actually, one of the guys over there actually ordered from Domino's. The one on the other phone actually got an order. Okay, that was kind of funny. I still wouldn't do it. Not something I would even commend them doing, but I would commend them to have the balls to do something like that. Because if we didn't, we wouldn't have anything to talk about. Anyway, so same thing with the same scenario. The same kind of thing happened where they called up Papa John's. Again, I don't know if it's the same people or not. And Domino's on two different phones. And so eventually they pick up. This time they were talking about prices. Okay, this second time here. And Domino's, but Papa John's said something about $7.99, and then Domino's would say something about $6.99, $5.99. And I said, "Are you trying to?" The guy says on the phone, "Are you trying to undercut us?" I think the guy said something about no, I'm not sure, but anyway, it's been too long since I've seen the video. Anyway, he says, "Screw you, Domino's! You're not even loyal to your customers." The guys that did that, they were laughing. This wasn't funny just because of that, but they were laughing. And I thought that was pretty funny. Now, this is not something I would condemn. Actually, none of it I would ever condemn or condone or whatever you want to call it. Actually, all the above. Enough to do it myself. All of it's stupid and be advised never to do that kind of stuff. But if it's just something basically for someone to talk about, like me. I'm talking about it. Probably somebody else has talked about it, no doubt, but in my mind. But I'm not going to look it up and find out if they have. I'm just putting my own 2 cents into it because I thought it was funny. Excuse me. Anyway, so moving on. I don't think it's right to, a lot of them are not even, dang it. I'm going to fall out of the sockets thing. Hang on a minute while I stay charged over here. They're not even loyal enough to their employees as well, because their employees suffer through so much, and the prices that are up right now makes it so hard for the poor man to say, okay, here you go, have some tip. Well, I do believe in personally, benefiting the drivers that have to come out of their way to come over here to take care of my order. I'm not going to spend out $50 doggone dollars and then give them that much money. You know why? Because I'm poor. I don't mind giving out money if I've got anything left over. But when you want to jack up prices, it's almost not even worth it. Nah, Hell, I went over there to McDonald's yesterday, finally, with what little change I had on hand. When this is not even much to even consider giving a driver tip. I give them usually about $5, maybe more. Depends. Anyway, and it's not even the price; it's the principality of it. And the fact is that when you think about all together, for what you're charging me, I can have a little bit more at McDonald's. A little bit less, but still expensive, because it's always been expensive. Or as we used to call it in our day, highway robbery. Has nothing to do with being on a highway and being robbed on a highway. Yeah, you are being robbed. Anyway, so moving on. So what was it? Dang. you really want me to put out money. I don't even have it. It makes me hard to do. It makes it really hard. Because see, I could have gotten more. I still wouldn't have had any tip money anyway. But still, it would have cost me even more. And I'm like, nah, There's got to be a better way to do this. Because personally, I don't see myself giving up Domino's because they got great food. It's not the food, it's the prices, man. The total freaking amount. And you want me to put out tip on that. Man, even a rich man could put out tip if they so wanted to. Way better than I ever could because I am poor. You know how much I make? All right, I'll tell you. I make less than $100 if I make anything. And whatever I make barely covers for what I'm getting right now. Yeah, I might get help, but still, I do the best I can to help other people too. I do. I seriously do. I go out of my way to do so. It's not just to help these restaurants get more richer. No. It's because I also want to feed myself, but in the process, I'm not going to just feed myself. I'm going to feed other people. I don't have to. I don't owe it to them, but I will do it anyway. It's out of my own pocket. What the hey? Why not? It doesn't kill me. It doesn't hurt me. I'm just going to do it. Plain and simple. I don't care. Whether it's my own family or someone else that's taking care of me. Like, because I can't drive. I mean, not that I don't know how to drive. I just don't like driving. Period. It's not knowing how to drive that's holding me back. You know? I will say this much. If I could drive, I would be already up there. I mean, I could drive a bicycle. I mean, but I don't have a bicycle anymore. Fact is, I'm not even sure I can even handle driving a bicycle nowadays the way I am now. I'm almost 40. And I know that ain't old, but I'm still that way. I am disabled. What do you want? A perfect gentleman who can be Santa Claus and give everybody money to all these charities and people who supposedly deserve money? That's a lot of people that deserve money. You got a point? I mean, just because I come out of nowhere, you think I deserve money? No, you probably don't. And I know I do because I've been working my behind off. That's without cussing. And I'll tell you one thing: if you're looking for a perfect straight A gentleman who will just not tell it as it is, then you're looking in the wrong place. If you're looking for a guy that won't cheat in his video games, because it's his video games, he would know what regardless of whether I make it or not, then you're in the wrong place. Go watch somebody else. You don't have to be a person that... What's this? You don't have to be a person that cheats or doesn't cheat to be a person that can be, able to do things. So, whatever. I will say that I am here to show up what I can do and, with voices and be able to provide a good enough guide for Avion. And like I said, Avion is a case of where I'm still learning some things that I didn't know originally since they updated. I mean, there's a lot of things that are still in there that I know for a fact that I can implement into the game itself that no one knows but me. I'm sure there's people out there, but because I got my hands on it and no one else did it but me, I played it. I didn't beat it, but I played it. I played it a lot more longer than anybody else has ever done. I've beaten the sequel, for God's sakes. I mean, that's really not really saying much. I didn't beat the first game, or if I have, I don't remember ever doing it. That's the thing about Ebion. I can remember a lot about it. I can, and I know I don't remember a lot about Ebion too, but I know that I beat it. hell, there's another game I'm already playing that I've beaten. And that was long before any of these games. And another game that I played that was long before Avion was even thought of or even heard of. That's another game, which was years later. And there's another game that I'm going to be bringing out too that I have played and beaten, but I have not 100%ed yet. I got close. I was really close, but I never got it done yet. I still have yet to 100% it. And there's another game I want to play that I have kind of played, but never got really farther than when I did it one time when I was actually making a go of it. And then there was Chrono Cross. Yeah, never really. I got further playing it on my own. And then when I gave it a go, I'll show you what I mean later. But yeah, I didn't get very far. But anyway, so moving on, there's a whole bunch of things going on right now. And I have to say that with everything going on, I don't remember half of what I said in this video, but I want to move on. What the taxes are with just delivery itself. Somebody actually told me it was $4.50 with taxes. It's when I think it's called Aesthetics of a Rogue Hero. I'm looking. Yeah, okay. What I failed to mention there was Aesthetics of a Rogue Hero Season 2. Yeah, that's what I was looking for. And I found this website that had this naked girl on there. Well, she wasn't showing anything, but I could definitely tell she was naked. I mean, she was kind of blocking it. Oh, well, you can't see anything special. But the first thing that came up after I popped onto this thing that I was checking out for free, which did not have Aesthetics of a Rogue Hero, not even Season 2, I could have sworn that Fun Animation had English dub for the OBS for that, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. It's been too long. Anyway, and I don't remember OBS being only like 3 or 4 minutes long, but then they also had trailers to DVDs for some reason that I never knew existed. But then there was another one like it as well that I haven't mentioned in this video that it was completely different than in this. And you won't find it now, so don't even bother looking for it. I thought it was Aesthetics of the Rogue Hero. Maybe I'm thinking of a different title, but it's kind of the same kind of ordeal. I don't know about him saving a woman from the father or whatever goes on about this show here, but I do know that it was kind of like that. It was a different girl. It was another woman that died, and he had to try to go save her, but something about, I think it was she was reborn or something? I don't remember. Anyway, it's been too long since will you stop falling out of the socket? Thank you, charger. Anyway, so moving on, the thing it told me was that my phone was or it says, by the way, your phone has been infected by a virus. That's not true at all. And that's after I scrolled a little bit. And then when I scrolled up again, it comes up with that woman who was supposedly trying to call me, even though she wasn't calling me directly. I could have said accept it, but I'm not going to do that. Those are right there within themselves a virus. Don't ever fall for that, no matter where you are. And speaking of which, if you've ever seen the news lately, it'll tell you, if you're on Android, you should definitely uninstall Google Chrome. No. Because Google Chrome is not hacked. It's not got a virus in it. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here today. If Google Chrome had a virus in it, yeah, we wouldn't be here talking. The fact is, my phone wouldn't even be functioning. You know, half the time is you can't even uninstall Chrome anyway. A lot of times, phones come with that by default. It's like the Internet Explorer. on a computer. The difference is Internet Explorer itself has a virus in it, but you'll be fine as long as you're just downloading a browser. Okay? Anything you want except for Firefox and Komodo Dragon. You can download them if you want to, but they're not the best programs anymore. Firefox is not supported anymore, and neither is Komodo Dragon. Those were the best ones, were Komodo Dragon and Ice Komodo Dragon. Those were the best browsers ever made, but they stopped supporting them. Like Netflix and stuff like that if you're on a computer. You can't get it on mobile, so don't even bother. Opera is not a good browser. Safari to me is not a good browser, but it can be. It has its uses. So yeah, you don't have to worry about that. It's Internet Explorer and Bing. Because Bing is a virus. I don't care how much it might make a computer work properly. I'm not going to use it. Okay? I absolutely refuse to use Bing. I don't care. I don't trust Bing. I hate Bing. In fact, Bing can go burn and die in a plane crash for all I care. Without involving anybody indifferently other than its own plane or whatever it wants to do. If that makes any sense. But the point is, that's how much I could care less about Bing. I don't like Bing. I haven't liked Bing since, well, never. Not because other people said so, because I found out for myself. Yes, I do things my own way. Sometimes I found out by other people, and I rather trust other people than I trust the internet. Because half the time, if you go on the internet, you can't find things. Like, I don't know how many times I've asked questions, and the internet doesn't know what the hell I'm talking about. I've even plainly said it out. I said it where it made sense. And they come up with all these other research results that have nothing, and I mean nothing to do with it, not even remotely. So, yeah, the internet sucks. Until that gets resolved, I cannot fully rely and trust on the internet to say, oh, yeah, you can just trust it for everything and anything. It's like every doggone app. Always somebody got to come up with an app. And always somebody got to come up there and say, well, you know what, if you want to get rid of these apps, because that's what they do, is they push these ads on you and expect you to pay to remove them. I'm not going to do it. As annoying as they are, and I have to agree with you, but I'm not going to put out and shell out a bunch of money, even if I was rich, which I am not for the record. I am not going to shell out a bunch of daggum money just to support somebody else, just to stop them from having ads, just to support them and have whatever the hell they want to. I don't care. I'm not going to do it. Okay? Everything else can go. I'm done with it. I actually typed it in. Where can I find it? So I shouldn't have gone through it trying to figure out where it was at, because I knew what it would look like, but it was finding it for some dumb reason was not easy to pop out. Take a look at this. Not that. Large reservation has been drinking 8%. Arnold Hager says he's been 8% vegan the past 5 years, and his blood cholesterol is now so low his doctor thought he might be a different person. Arnold Schwarzenegger said he'd be mostly vegan, okay, really? I'm not gonna keep saying this, but look at this. How many times can you say this in so many separate ways or fully in a sentence? Look at that. Blah, 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 blah. We know it keeps his diet sustainable. His cholesterol, oh my goodness, it lowered his cholesterol? No kid. At the same time, Mr. Olympia has been outspoken about the benefits of a vegan diet for health. This by a generation of vegan bodybuilders to build muscles on plant-based diets. He said it helped him feel healthier and younger overall. Okay, my bad cholesterol number is so low that my doctor thought I might be a different person, Schwarzenegger said in the newsletter. Certain animal-based foods like fatty cuts and meat, processed meats like bacon and hot dogs, and dairy products like cheese are linked to higher cholesterol levels. In contrast, veggies, especially leaf greens and foods like whole grains, berries, and walnuts may help lower cholesterol without medication. No. Leafy greens. Veggies, especially leafy greens, is what I was trying to say there. I must have been tired. Anyway. No. Consistent exercise can also help keep cholesterol levels low. Schwarzenegger 74. I thought he was older than that, but whatever. Continuously trade. Yeah, I was. I'll just let you read it. Yeah, I was absolutely tired, but at this point, anyway. Here's showing in his there that his workout split was 6 days a week, and he focused on the different body part each day. Ugh. I didn't need to read that. Yeah, I was so tired I wasn't getting into that didn't mean every part in his body, but I was just out of it anyway. I mean, whatever. I don't know. That's up to you. I don't know. I'm just tired. You spot your own seat. Number 1. Let's start this at the beginning. 10 polite restaurant habits you don't realize are actually freaking. Okay, I want to talk over this because I cussed in this part. Yeah, okay, you find your own seat. You spot an empty table at a restaurant that doesn't take reservations. The host is busy seating another party, so you grab a couple of menus and take a seat. I've never done that. And the problem with this basically is that if you go like to McDonald's or something like that, or even Captain D's, I mean, I know that they used to have it like that where they seated you, but you no longer do that. So you just go in there and you have a seat. So, I have sat down in an empty area. I didn't just pick up, menus. They gave them to me. Let's move on. They never will know what the restaurant system is for, blah, blah, blah. Come on, I don't want to skip forward because if I do, we'll skip the rest of the parts here. Unless you're snagging a spot at the bar, you should wait to be seated until the host or another staff member can get you all set up. Probably, but they should still have a waiting area anyway for you. I hate that when it looks like that. It almost makes me think that I'm not charging up. Then since I'm at 100%, I can unplug it now. Anyway, blah, blah, blah. You should take a seat somewhere. I mean, I have done where I have taken a seat, but not quite like this, no. I kind of agree with that, sort of, but, whatever. Okay, come on, dude. Jeez, I would skip forward to this, but there's no way to actually skip forward through it. Hang on a minute. Okay, hold on. Okay. Whoa, hold on a minute. You ignore the specials. Hear us out. The kitchen staff have come up with something delicious and possibly unique for today's menu. Your waiter has memorized what's available. Don't interrupt when they launch into today's list. If you listen up, you may find that there's a dish to pique your interest. Now, okay, I can agree with this, but I also disagree. Like, unless you ask for it, or if they say they want to, okay, fine, okay, whatever. I just, it really, it's one of my pet peeves as well. That I don't really think more about, but yeah, I hate when somebody just like forces it on you, and then they think that it's something that's going to pique your interest. No, it's not. Half the time that with that is, if it piques your interest, it'll be like by the time that you're done with your meal, if you still have room for it. And a lot of people don't even ask for that stuff anymore. So it's not much point in giving out a dessert. I mean, that's why they still have dessert menus, like over there at Waffle House. I don't know about IHOP anymore because I don't go to IHOP anymore. Used to, many many moons ago. So yeah, I mean, like seriously, even like when they had menus for that, they didn't really tell you, but it was right there, and it was fine to me. Either way, I mean, I have to agree, but I also have to disagree. So that's the thing I gotta say about that. So let's move on. Okay. Okay. 3. You chat up your server. It's always a good move to follow your server's lead when it comes to making small talk. Even if the restaurant doesn't look busy to you, your server may have other things to do, putting in orders, filling drinks, and checking on our customers and can be tough to juggle, so flagging your server down just to chat is one habit you want to avoid. They won't want to be rude, but idle conversation may cause them to fall behind with other customers. That's not necessarily true, but it can be. There have been that way, but here's the thing: you got to be able to multitask no matter what. All these jobs, but you don't realize what they're not telling you here, because this right here is crap. Okay, no matter what, you have to be able to multitask. You are literally forced to do this. I have been a waiter all my life. I've been a cook, a chef. Well, actually, all in one. And you have to be able to multitask, you know. And it's okay to chat up your server if there's nothing going on. Because a lot of times, servers are going to chat up anyway. But, yeah, you know, I guess it's okay. Not if you don't want to, whatever. That's just something I have to point out there. It's not a pet peeve of mine or anything, but I would think that, yeah, chatting up the server, because, and there's another thing. Sometimes people are lonely. You can't help it. I mean, there's people out there I can understand that, but at the same time, it's kind of like how I feel about when people start talking about the reason why. Yet that's not our business. Like when you go into a place and you start renting out, right? You rent a storage unit. The reason why you have to leave, it's not required, and it's none of anybody's business. Okay, not really, but we'll listen to you anyway. I mean, the most important thing is to tell people that you are leaving. It's not the reason why that matters when you're closing out, because, I mean, seriously, nobody's going to really type down, okay, so the reason why said person, Jacob Smith, female, male, ran out of the building because they can't take it anymore. They hate everything. They don't like me. Blah, 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 blah. We're not going to do that, but we will listen to you. And that's the thing, they will listen to you, but it's not their job to find out why you are leaving. The the reason why you are leaving or moving stuff um, out to go to another house is none of our concern, but we will listen. However, as far as moving storage units go, I guess the reason why it would be a good idea, because there could be something wrong and we don't know about it, you know, whatever. But see, that's the thing. Within the policy, you have to let them know immediately. You have to follow the instructions of the policy as stated. You know? Anyway. Now, we're going to skip on to here. Alright, you order from someone else. I don't know if you read that or not. Yeah, you order from someone else. You're ready to order, but your server is out of sight. Waving over a different server ordering from them could seriously complicate things. Since your table now has two servers dealing with orders, you could end up with an error on your bill or your server not being aware of any special changes you made to your order. If you seriously don't see... Come on. If you seriously don't see your waiter anywhere, just ask another server to flag them down for you. You'll cut down on your wait time and avoid pointless confusion entirely. Actually, I have to point out something here. That is not true. Okay? The thing about this is that a lot of times in restaurants, which I can see their point about that. In a way I can. But at the same time, here's the thing. I've been in restaurants in these situations. I've even seen people sit there and be like, yeah, why'd you take their order when we're ready to order? They come up there and ask you, you know, they'll tell you, okay, we'll give you a little bit. And then when you're ready, they're already taking someone else's order. And you've been in there for more than an hour or so waiting on your server to come by. That's the most problematic thing, and the thing I can see wrong with that, because it's like, okay, so what if you do flag someone else? I mean, because you were hungry and you can't wait no longer. It's not right to make people wait several freaking hours because you're already over there taking someone else's order, and they were there first. It's like a first come, first serve basis. And that's the way it should be. Not, okay, well, you're up next, so I should do that. It's like, especially, there's another thing. They're not saying, like, okay, you ordered first, you got your food ordered. Okay, and something I didn't think about here. Hang on a minute while I blow up my nose here. Anyway, and I've seen it happen too, and I've been in this situation too. I don't know why my nose gets like this. I didn't used to be like this. But anyway, you get in a situation like when you already had your food ordered, okay, before these other people did. Okay, and they're instead of bringing your food, they bring theirs. The same thing. Why? Like, okay, if you've been there, it's the same thing when you order out, okay? If they're there, which I can understand that, I can. That's why I'm a bit more tolerable than anybody else you've ever met. Like, oh, okay, see, that makes sense. I mean, at least they should have the common courtesy anyway to tell you that they have orders before you, instead of just making you wait 5 or 10 hours, even 2 hours, over the threshold, and then all of a sudden tell you, oh, by the way, yeah, I'm late because I had other orders ahead of you. They should have the common courtesy to tell you that beforehand. Because it does make sense, but still, because you don't know, and it ain't right that nobody knows, and it's not right to fault anybody. Nobody's at fault except for them when they don't tell you these things, That's it. That's the only fault there is. But again, back to the whole, like, okay, you're sitting there waiting for your food, and all of a sudden, they get picked before you. And you're not even a bad person, and it doesn't matter. It's like this world thinks it matters because just because whether or not you're rude or just sitting there, you're gonna be rude to people. It doesn't. A lot of times it can be the case, but it ain't always. And a lot of people also will get the idea that, well, it's because I'm a certain color or whatever. No, seriously. Like, if they don't like you from the get-go, it ain't got nothing to do with your color or because of what religion or whatever, unless they actually plainly state that, which is obviously wrong. I won't agree with them being right, but what can you do? It's their place establishment. It's like, especially when I heard about, oh, well, if you're a lesbian, you can't be here. What? And what I don't mind is, like, there's a woman that lures women into a alley because she's able to attract them, and they fall for that. That's nothing. The bad part of it is that having them being done in by a dude when they don't want a dude, they want a woman, they want you, the woman. It's like when a guy does the same thing to a woman, it's ridiculous, okay? The thing is, what they won't tell you is that there is bads and goods about that. Like, in other words, it just depends on how it's going down. Like, if it's just an innocent little deal because they want to have some time together, they want to lure each other to get the idea that they want to, have a private alone time together doing some things that nobody needs to know about because it ain't none of their damn business. I mean, they're having cheating's business. And I'm going to tell you right now, if you think it's your business, you're wrong. It's not even my business, but it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure that out. Okay? It's like, so what? Don't be jealous. You'll get your time if you're going to get it. Otherwise, don't worry about it. Them two having their own time. Excuse me, I burped there, I think. But anyway, just in case, excuse me. Yeah, so, don't, but still, overall, I wouldn't lure women anywhere because they wouldn't have it anyway. They'd be like, oh my God, no, not you, you ugly babe. Get the hell away from me. Me, if I was doing it, which I wouldn't anyway, because that's my luck, with things like, not that I believe in luck, but What the hell? Wait a minute. What happened to 5? Oh, I missed it. Okay. Wait. What happened? Number 5. Come on. You help unload the server's full tray. That's something I don't agree with either. Don't do that. That's crazy. Whether it's on their arm or balanced on the table, unloading the tray of food is always a bad idea. Your server has everything balanced to perfection, and snagging your dining partner's drink off the edge of could send everything falling down. That's not really true, but okay. Be patient and let the expert do the survey. Actually, if they actually have to do, here's the thing. In a lot of situations, this is not what they're going to tell you. This is a true fact. There have been situations where servers have a lot more on their plate and they do need help. Okay? There's absolutely nothing wrong with helping out servers. If it is indeed, because a lot of times they are short-staffed and they need help to absolutely put out as many dishes as there is if they're trying to do it at one time. There's no sense in and killing yourself. Well, not physically, but you could anyway. Over trying to do it, and because see, here's the thing: things will fall anyway if you have too much with you. There's also another reason why the restaurants have the ability to have more than one person, which is a good idea, by the way, to handle the rest of the food that's coming out at once. And a lot of situations have been forced to, oh, could you help me out here? Sure. See, that's the thing. What should be done is if they ask for help, especially because they have so much on their planner and they just want to get it done. Not just because they're looking for a tip, although a lot of them are, but it's not a good idea. But it wouldn't matter anyway. But still, because they're trying to prove that they can handle the job. Well, they don't need to do all that. Okay, but you can't tell them that because they're just trying to get what they can to survive, and which is fine. So, again, yeah, don't help them out of the tray unless they absolutely ask and they're short-staffed. And they absolutely need you when they have too much on their hands. Because a lot of waiters do carry out too much on their hands. And there's a lot of times that they don't. It just depends on the situation. I mean, they may have a lot on their hands. And it's always a good idea, and it should be up to the restaurant to provide this anyway to help out, whether they're doing it by themselves or having them take care of the rest of the dishes, which would actually more benefit the restaurant and not have, and save them on a lot of money, and not worry about not worrying to have to, if I can speak it, and not have to worry about damages and whatnot. Who cares about other things? I mean, yeah, okay, it's because the thing of it is that it could be accidental. If it's on purpose, which there's no way to really prove it unless it's on camera, that they deliberately did it, or that the customer made them do that, then yeah. But accidentally, it can still be proven. But there's a lot of restaurants as well that don't have cameras that prove whether or not it was purpose or deliberately. Accident, purposely, deliberately on purpose, if I can speak, or on accident. But let's go on to number 6 now. Okay, you try to clean up your own mess. We've all been there. You're sharing a story with friends, and you end up knocking over a drink in your excitement. It's tempting to hide your mistake by darting over to the bathroom for some paper towels or throwing every napkin in sight at the mess, but you should alert your server instead. That's wrong, especially if you've broken a glass. Okay, that's fine. That's true. The last thing anyone wants is you cutting. Come on. I was going to say yourself here, but hang on, I don't remember the rest of it. Come on. I gotta explain this is number 6 here. If you'll just hurry up, dude. Okay. Whoa. Where are you going? Okay, it said instead, especially if you've broken the glass. The last thing anyone wants is you cutting your hand. Shouldn't I be saying hands or whatever? Or hands. In an attempt to be helpful. They have all the cleaning supplies they need to get the job done quickly and efficiently. Okay, I can understand that part of it, and I agree with that part of it. But the thing of it is, if you make a mess, and if you want to clean it up, that should be your God-given right. I mean, it really shouldn't matter whether you clean it up or not, because a lot of times, here's the thing: these people get lazy. There's another thing that people don't tell you. Servers get lazy because, even with broken glass, they don't care. But then there's ones who do, but they're busy doing something else. Okay? And which brings you back to, now that I think of it, I haven't thought about this, but yeah, the other one about having a separate server. Well, the thing of it is that if you don't have that secondary server, they're not really to serve you, but to help get that cleaned up because you don't want somebody getting hurt. Yeah, that's not going to happen. So in the meantime, a customer is just sitting there waiting before they get, ow, I got broken or something. In the meantime, as well, here's another thing you don't realize. People could take advantage of that. They could either break it themselves, or if they accidentally do it and they just put it on their purpose, they're like, you deliberately hurt me, I'm suing. Whether or not that happens or not, it should matter in the fact that that's wrong, but at the same time it shouldn't, because it should be that, okay, there should be always some way to get that done. And a lot of people think that they can just write out this crap, and this is just crap, because the thing of it is not so much of that you get the idea that, it should be taken care of, but in other words, if they're so busy that they can't pick it up or have someone else do it for them, then that's bad for business. It really is. It's not professional and it's unhealthy. No matter what is going on, it's not a good idea to leave it like that. That's the problem with this situation as well. Regardless whether it's on the cameras or not, it should not be left like that. Seriously. But if it's just a regular old mess, you just accidentally dumped your Coke on a table or water, so what if you clean it up? It's not going to hurt the restaurant any by you cleaning that up. I mean, what do you think napkins are for? I mean, anyway, they're not just to clean you up. They use it for all kinds of things. Those napkins, you think they're always reused. A lot of times they are, but a lot of times they're not. And it's never a good idea to reuse napkins. That's just my personal... well, it's not just that, but it's true. It's a proven fact, because it's pathetic the way that they do this, is they reuse napkins and stuff. It's just a good idea to start fresh new napkins, and because they are not going to go out and go get separate ones just to do the job with. Okay, I mean, a lot of times, yeah, restaurants do have their own separate kind of deal, but and another thing is, it's crap that say that you may not have it, or you just don't have it at all. What if somebody did come in there and had the right things? I mean, the right things are the ones that are just going to get the job done. It doesn't matter what the product is as long as it gets the job done. It will matter if it doesn't get the job done. That's the only part that will ever matter about any cleaning product solution. It's like the solution I got right here. It don't do the job. And I can't tell anybody about it because I'm not going to get into it. But I'm just going to tell you this right now. That if you have a product like that, then yeah, it's not going to work. It might work for you. It won't work for everything. So it's best to avoid doing that unless you've got the proper research and you've known by experience, not by looking on the bloody internet, I might add. The internet is not always helpful. Sorry to break that to you. But, not like I regret it or anything, but it's true. Just pay attention to your surroundings. That's the internet. The internet is not going to tell you that or teach you that. You got to learn it on your own. Pay attention to what happens. Learn from existence. So that if you want to do this, you're going to want to do it properly instead of like, oh my God, I made a mistake by bringing up a pizza box and rubbing down the table, man. Nobody's actually going to do that. But if you did, the point is that you brought up a product from home that may work for you but won't work for anywhere else. So you got to do your research by paying attention to things. Always keep an open mind and pay attention to things around you, your surroundings of knowing. Even if you're not thinking about it, just make sure you're paying attention enough to know. Like, oh, okay, now I know what to do. All right, now let's go on to this one here. You help yourself to a refill. Your glass is low, so you help yourself to the pitcher of tea a few steps away. If a manager sees you helping yourself, Your server is likely to get an earful for not keeping you topped up. Topped up? What the hell? You being filled up? Instead, just wave over to your server and ask for a refill. If it's a continuing problem, ask for 2 glasses or let a manager know that your server is forgetting to refill your drink. That's not always possible. Okay? And that's another thing. That's another thing that's just not true. Okay? While most restaurants, okay, it will be true in most restaurants, but not all. Okay? It's not about whether or not they forget to refill you. It's because they've got so much going on. See, they're contradicting their own helpful tips, which is bull crap tips. This is why I say it's bull crap, and that's why I'm going to correct these tips, okay? I'm a professional. I know what I'm doing. I've been doing this a lot longer than somebody who just typed this crap out on the internet. I agree with most of it, but not everything, okay? If a server is forgetting, it's not always that they're forgetting. It's because they're busy. What do you want? Okay? Stop being a person who thinks you're above everything else and thinking it's okay because you just told the manager. The manager is aware of what's going on. And here's another thing. A lot of times, there's not going to be a manager there. What do you want? A manager just to be there just in case a server doesn't actually fill up your cup? And a lot of things as well as if you fill it up, it ain't no big deal. It's just not. But you still gotta, like I said, pay attention to your surroundings. Keep an open mind. Know what's going on before you do anything. Before you do anything, keep an open mind and look around for situations that you know what's going on. I mean it. And always make sure you ask before you say, okay, is it okay that I use this? Because I don't see my server anywhere. Okay? You know? And if they say, sure, fine, then let it go. Do it. Okay? And I've seen it in restaurants as well, is that they put a picture on your table. Even in Rocco's Pub, they do this. Not all the time, or they used to anyway. Or especially after so many times they poured it, they got tired of just coming up to you. But they still do it anyway. They still have to show the pictures or whatever. Yeah. So, that's another thing. So, why would you do that? And it's not called topping it up. Only a fool would do that, okay? Like, seriously. If it's not full enough, that is topping it up. A refill does not include just topping it up. Okay? It's not a refill. A refill is filling up a glass that was emptied, or a little bit, like just so little bit is in that glass. That's what a refill is. That's a true fact. Don't believe me? Look it up. And I hate to suggest that, like I think the internet's all that in a bag of chips, but or you can ask anybody. Just ask anybody. So anyway, okay, blah 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 blah. It's always better to voice. No, it isn't. That's crap. Come on, man. Hurry up, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. So, it's always, okay, it's always better to voice your concerns rather than try to fix them yourself. No, it isn't. No, it isn't. Okay? It's not always good because a lot of times people don't care. And then there's times that if you do it right, you will get people that will care. Like, what's going on with the situation? Like, if you call headquarters, or if you just call on the phone, because, and I know it's going to be a case of, well, what if I don't have a phone? Well, then I don't know what to tell you. Because you cannot, and I mean cannot, come up into a restaurant and cause a scene no matter what's going on, whether there's something wrong with the manager or someone else who's serving you. I have seen people do this. This is not a way to do things. This is not a way to handle it. Okay? I understand you're upset. And a lot of things as well is like, especially going back to the whole idea, you are harassing employees by doing that. That is called total and utter harassment. Well, they may not tell you this, but I'm going to tell you it anyway. That is harassment. So what? You're late to go home to your kids. I've seen a woman do this, a motherly woman. I'm not here to teach a woman or tell you how to do parenting. I don't care about that. I'm just going to tell you it's just not a way to do things, okay? I'm not going to go in a place and cause a scene. I mean, I will try to ask and see what I can do, but that's about it when there's a free... And this is how I would approach it. If you don't have a phone, okay, and if you really, really don't mind having the patience to wait, just ask for a manager, say it properly like this, can I get one to come as soon as possible? Please and thank you. Because please and thank you goes a long ways. That's what you people are missing. It's please and thank you. And to get them to come by as soon as possible instead of just dropping everything because they might be in the middle of doing something. And you don't know that. Okay? But that's still not right. Okay? Like, can you just get your manager to get over here right now before I blow this place up? You can't say that, man. You can't do that. That's the kind of word that I shouldn't be saying, but it's something that people do, okay? It's so stupid. Or before I get really angry or whatever, that's the kind of stuff you don't want to say in a restaurant. Okay, I don't care how pissed off you are. Even I would say that, but still, I'm just saying I've seen people do that, and I heard them say it. Like, really? You're gonna do that because you're pissed off? I understand that you're pissed off. I get that. But there's not a reason to do that. Okay? You can't do that. It's not professional. That doesn't solve anything. A lot of times talking does more good than it is to just do that by impulse. It's good to talk it out and not go through this rant tirade about, oh my God, I'm so pissed because I didn't get my order, and I'm so pissed, and because I have to go to my kids and all this junk. You don't do that. I get you're late to your kids and whatever, but it's probably for me to tell you how to raise your kids, but I'm going to tell you this. Don't cause a damn scene, okay? Don't come up in here, don't come into some restaurant. It doesn't. You don't have to be an employee of a restaurant to know what's going on. All you gotta do, like I said, is pay attention to the situation. You don't even have to think about it as long as you know and hear what in the hell is going on. That's what you're basically not getting. Oh my God, you have to be an actual employee. Or oh my God, you have to have a pilot's license to drive a plane. Because if you did, you wouldn't have no accidents. That's not true at all. Not true at all. If a plane happens to crash, there's more than one cause to happen. It doesn't matter whether they're licensed or not. It could be weather. It could be weather. I've said this before, and you don't get that, but that's what a lot of you don't get. It could be weather because it's been known to happen. Mother Nature happens, and there's nothing you can do about it. Or if a pilot gets drunk and decides to put a lot of people in danger. Well, the thing of it is, it has nothing to do with if they're in drunk or not, if they know how to handle the situation and if they do better. I mean, I hate to say, so what if you lost 6 lives? So what? They did the best they could. It wasn't because they were drunk. It was going to happen. It was meant to happen. A lot of people say you believe in God and faith and all that. Well, what if I told you that was meant to happen? Okay? Regardless of whether a person gets drunk or not. Okay? Because here's the thing. I was watching this movie. All right? And they said something about they were doing it in simulations, but not one of them was drunk. Not one of them. I don't know if they were lying about it, but not one of them was ever drunk on it. And they couldn't save anybody. They just killed everybody in one shot. Every one of them failed the test. That's what it was said anyway. But here's the thing. Whether you're drunk or not, lives are either going to be saved or not. Doesn't have nothing to do with being drunk. Like, if you stumble and you're not allowed, if you can't get back up, then doggone well you should be piloting. And that's the thing. People need to voice up about that. Like, yeah, no, you can't be here. And it's not just because they're drunk. It's because they're not able to function. And a lot of times it happens to be as well, not because they're drunk, because they can't do anything. They didn't get enough sleep. Okay. So then why are you here? There you go. Now let's get on to the rest of it. All right, you stack your dishes, your finished meal. You have finished your meal. I'm going to say that properly. Anyway, your meal, like I like it, I like your. I said you are, apostrophe R-E, that's crap anyway. So you pile up your empty dishes in a neat or not so neat stack. It shouldn't matter. Okay? Here's another thing. Do it anyway. I mean, they're not going to get pissed. Okay? It's a restaurant. Okay, this is another thing why I call it bull crap. Let me correct you something on this as well. I don't agree with this. Okay? A lot of the times, unless they say otherwise don't do it, then, you're more than free to do it. I did that over there at Waffle House, and nobody got pissed. Everybody else did it too. Nobody got pissed. So where in the hell do you get such crap? Again, unless they say don't do it, then don't listen to this crap. Okay? Like I said, a lot of it I agree with, and a lot of it I don't. This I don't agree with at all, whatsoever. Stack it. Unless they say don't. Unless they ask you kindly not to do that, then you are free to do that. And here's another thing. Because in the meantime, you've got dishes just piling up, getting in your way. And they don't, that's a lot of things they're not telling you. So in the meantime, you got it piled up because you're trying to get it out of your way, regardless of whether you need it or not, like it's a junk mess, and you're wanting to tell me that I shouldn't do that. No. That's crap. Again, the only thing that's not crap about it is if they asked you politely not to do it. If they say that, okay, then respect that. But otherwise, you still have every right to do so, because you will go into any restaurant, I don't care where it is, and you will find that if you have dishes on there, if you have more than one dish, it's going to get in the way. Depending on how much you ordered, and how much space you actually have. So what are you supposed to do with it in the meantime? Just let it sit there while you're, and you're trying to go, oh my God, I can't reach this little Dingleheimer Schmidt. Somebody please help me. I can't reach that. In the meantime, dishes fall and break. I mean, sure, you shouldn't pile them so high. That's a no duh. That's a given fact, people. Like, okay, you can stack them like 4 or 5 feet. That's fine, Danny. But if you stack them like 10 or 20 feet tall, even 15 is ridiculous. About 4 to 5 should be the limit of how much you stack dishes. Any more than that is, oh my God, is a danger waiting to happen. Basically, a fall that could kill a bunch of people or hurt people or injure them. Well, it's been known to kill people, but not as badly as injure people. That's why you only stack it up to a certain amount, and that's it. But even so, it still shouldn't be that you shouldn't stack up dishes. That's ridiculous. And you don't gotta wave up your, hey waiter, this is in my way. Hey, dummy, hey, you idiot, it's over here. Hey, I don't care if you're over there messing with other people. Get over here and take care of my dish. That's how stupid this is. You're not saying that, but that's like how much I would have to do or beg and plead somebody because it's in my way. I mean, yeah, there's a such thing as being patient, but there's also no such thing as, not letting it stay like that forever. Okay? And not going, hey, waiter, hey, I know you're over there busy taking someone else's order, but come over to my table and just take care of this dish for me right now. I didn't pay for you to stand over there and talk to them. Oh, no, I paid for you to take care of me right now. Take care of this dish right now. Get it out of here. That's the kind of attitude you people have. Like, really, you think it's so polite, but it's not being polite, okay? It's a such thing as having patience and whatnot, but not to the point that you might as well start doing that. That's how ridiculous this ugly statement is, okay? No. Now, if I have to stack up more than 5 dishes, then there's going to be a problem. But unlike you, I can wait patiently. I'm not going to wave over my waiter and say, hey, these things are stacking up. You get them the hell out of my way? It doesn't matter if I'm trying to be polite about it or not. I don't want to bother them, and it's not a good idea to bother them anyway unless you can get them at the right time. It's always good to show a little patience and be a bit more, how do you say this? More conservative and respectful of them. Okay? They're not robots. Even robots should deserve respect. But still, my God, man. Respect. Okay? Get some doggone respect and you show some manners. This is not showing manners by not stacking it up and asking them to take it away. This is not manners. Manners is, like, in other words, an existence of, again, if someone says, please do not do that, and then you respect that, and if the rest is and don't do it, okay, then that's manners and respect. Okay? Now, let's move on. You wait until the end of the meal to split your check. No. Okay, I don't agree with this anywhere. Giving your server a heads up at the beginning of your meal can make it easier for them to organize your separate checks instead of waiting until... Yeah, come on. We don't care. Where I said it. Hang on. Your server might appreciate the thought. Okay, blah, 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 blah. Your server might appreciate the thought, but they probably have their own way of balancing the dishes that keeps them secure on the way back to the kitchen. You may have put them in the awkward position of needing to unstack and restack the dishes at your table. Instead, just leave them where they are and let your server... That's crap, okay? Don't do that unless they ask you. Again, unless they ask you. This is not important. So moving on. Come on, man. We don't have all day. Come on. Okay, you wait until the end of the meal to split your check. Giving your server a heads up at the beginning of your meal can make it easier for them to organize your separate checks. Instead of waiting until you've eaten, tell them how you'll split the bill as you order to save everyone a headache. That's crap. That is utter crap. Okay? No. All right? Sometimes in life, and I'm going to explain something to you right now. Sometimes in life, we all have to worry about, maybe once in a while, that we just don't have it in one thing. We just have to do it that way, and we don't know. You cannot protect the future. This is utter crap nonsense. Do not listen to that. So I'm going to tell you something. If you have to split up something, there has to be a reason at the end. I mean, I can understand if you decide that you want to, at the beginning, because you have to know in advance. There's no way in hell to know in advance all the time unless you absolutely know that you're going to be setting it up that way. And a lot of times in life, we don't have that luxury. Like, okay, I know for example, this is an example, and it's a proven point that, I don't know exactly the amount of cash, but it's a proven fact to point out the point is that when you think about it, okay, I got $20. Okay, the meal is only costing me $15. This 20 is going to cover that. Okay? This is an example. All right, but then when the bill comes, then they ask for a little bit more. No, that don't work. That's kind of crap that doesn't work either. But here's another thing. When you look at the menu versus what the bill is, and then you think that it's only going to cost you about $20. I know that that's not really the thing, but that's not the point. You're missing the point. Okay? All of a sudden, you got to come up with more. Well, you got to have another way to pay. But you don't know that until the end. Okay? You can know all the stuff all you want to, but you can't predict whether or not you're going to have that amount covered in one shot. Let's say you got a card, or you got like $20 on hand, and you got like $500 on your credit card, for example. Okay? All right, but that $20 is not going to cover a $30 meal. Well, you don't know it's going to cover, because a lot of times prices are absolutely ridiculous. Here's another way that would actually make that possible all the time, of whether or not you know you're going to handle that check or whatever, is if they didn't have it where they rise it up at the end. Why am I clapping? I don't know. The point is that if they didn't rise it up at the end and you don't know, and sometimes there's another thing, they add on an extra charge, you don't know why. Like with stupid Domino's and the 36 cents for what? An extra charge or extra taxes, or to cover the fact that the ingredients that were extra put out on a deal? No, that's just stupid. It's one thing when it doesn't cost so much. It's when it costs more. That's the principality of it. When it costs you, like, okay, if you want to get a couple of pizzas, one for free, one that actually costs you money, with the mix and match meal, and you got a pasta or whatever it is with that, because all they do is offer free. They were talking about meals, but then they dropped that in a heartbeat. That didn't last long, because I wasn't looking at it. I was hoping one day they might do that, because it would be more worth it to me than having it just like that. But anyway, moving on. Okay, if I wanted more and they decided to charge me more, that ain't gonna fly. Because I think I know what it is, because when they tell you it, and then all of a sudden they bring up, oh, there's a $500 surcharge or whatever, or 36 cents. Or $5 more that you didn't know you actually had to come up with. And that's ridiculous. For good freaking food, that's not even worth it to consider a meal. A meal. Maybe almost a meal, but not a full meal. Now, I can't believe I spit on my screen there. To the final one. Okay. You save your complaints for help. If you end up with the wrong dish or something about the service isn't to your liking, give the restaurant a chance to fix it before you type up a 1-star review. Simply talking to the server or manager about your problem could lead to a quick fix, and you could be doing future customers a favor with your face-to-face criticism. Baloney! This goes back to the other thing about talking to managers and whatnot. Okay? That is baloney. Okay? Talking to a server isn't going to fix the problem. Okay? Or a manager. It's just baloney. Okay? No. It's not a quick fix. It doesn't stop it. Like, even if you could fix it, it doesn't stop it from happening again. You know how many times McDonald's has screwed up on their orders? Many, many times. And everybody gets fed up with that. Even Burger King has screwed up on their... Every restaurant I have ever known, they have screwed up on their orders. Even Burger King, or... I already said Burger King. Domino's, Papa John's, anything you can think of. Even Jack in the Box, I don't know if they have or not, but it wouldn't surprise me if they have. I think I actually heard something. Maybe, I don't know. Anyway, the point is that every restaurant has ever had... It's not just every chain, but sometimes every chain has that problem every once in a while. But then there's this one specific chain, or one specific that restaurant in a different area. I don't know why we're calling it a chain, but anyway. And that specific area always has a bad problem. Whereas if you get it somewhere else, even though it's not worth it to drive all that way because it's too much on your gas tank to do that, or have someone deliver it, which is not going to be easy. And to hell with Uber. I'm sorry, but no, sorry. To hell with Uber and to hell with any other service because they're too much money. You can't even hardly save yourself much money by going up there by yourself to get a good, decent meal. Because by the time you get there, it's all that and all that. It's not really free. Even if it says it's free, it's not. So you're not doing yourself any bit of tips or favors by even following everything that's on here. Now, you can agree with most of it and do what most of it says, but not everything. You know, it was like at the beginning of the thing. Yeah. Okay, I agree with most of it, like I said, and a lot of it I don't. Okay? But don't follow for everything. Don't follow for that. And again, do not fall for the idea that Chrome has a virus in it that you should be uninstalling right now. The only way that's going to happen is if you actually get a virus in it. It's not because it doesn't matter. You don't have to have done it yourself purposely to get one. All you got to do is click on the wrong website and boom, you're done. It's the same thing with the computer. I had to think for a minute there because I'm getting tired of trying to explain this and everything. But yeah, with a computer, and it's true. Not just thinking about it, it is true. I am an expert on this stuff, and I know what the hell I'm talking about, okay? All it takes is that one wrong move. That's it. You're done. And you think that antivirus scanners are all that in a bag of chips? You're not. That's why they have separate programs. You can't do it for Android little bitty mobile phones like this because they only take up so much space depending on what you're trying to do. If you're just trying to have a simple phone, that's fine. That works. But if you're trying to have a phone that has all this other junk like Facebook, YouTube, all this other stuff, then yeah, it don't work. Unless, of course, you've got like a bigger one, like a Android, I think they're called tablets or whatever, or it's like an iPad, which is it's the equivalent of an iPhone, but it's with the capability of it. You can actually see. Here's the thing: no matter what they're programmed for, you can actually set them up as phones or have the ability to have that. It's not that hard to do if you know what you're doing. I don't know what I'm doing, so I mean, I do for a lot of things, and I know enough that it can be done because I've seen it. I know it can be done, and I've heard about it, and I've seen every tablet, no matter how much they have been programmed to only be for internet, you can still download something and make it so that that thing works as a actual phone, but you still have to have service that goes along with it. That's the thing. But that's not the hard part. The hard part is knowing, or if you don't know, then you don't know what you're doing. It's easy enough to admit. There's a lot of things I know what I'm doing, you know? And I know enough to know what the hell I'm talking about. So, you know. Now, I think there's something about grocery tips or whatever. Let's just go on about grocery tips. Yeah. This is the longest update I have ever made. By the way, just for the record. Let me show how long we've been recording. Oh my god, that long? Okay, then we'll stop here. Alright, so I'm going to do this other part, and then after I merge this together, which I'm going to be deleting the entire video, but it's not done yet, because we still have yet to get to the 57 minutes marker, so I'm going to, because I thought I might get a cutoff, so I went ahead and just stopped it there.
Yeah, alright. I admit it. I did it anyway. But I shouldn't be. I really shouldn't. You should take from the example of not doing it and find out why they had to absolutely sit there and be in charge.
Okay, yeah, alright. Can we just get on with this? I would appreciate it if we did. Thank you. Come on, past me. Now, the reason why I'm skipping out a bunch of it because I've already explained a lot in the previous part. So it's going to be the longest video I have ever made in history for an update video. My God, man. Okay, popular and healthy lifestyle. Lifestyle. 3 helpful grocery store habits that are actually rude. Oh, brother, here we go. Maybe think twice before you put back that gallon of milk. Should that be maybe you ought to think twice? Anyway. Yeah, whatever. So go on. Like how there's like no number 1, 2, or 3 in this. Come on, man. Seriously, I hate this. I have to go back and forth about this. Okay, here we go. Though making your grocery list and checking out the sales can be a time-consuming errand, there's something nice about going to the supermarket for a big restock. Every piece of produce you pick up has an unknowable future in front of it. After all, who knows what will become of the perfectly ripe fruits and veggies in your cart, brother? Here we go. Okay, I kind of agree with that, though. I mean, you never know. I mean, because everything's going on. I might have gone back a little bit. Come on. Okay. Unfortunately, you're luckily. Yeah, I can speak. Unfortunately, you are likely to hit some snags even on your best trips to the grocery store. See, it makes more sense that way because otherwise it trips me up every time as a party we are here in there. Anyway, I digress. They are out of stock on the staple you really need. You really needed staple, the stuff you needed. Didn't that be this the stuff you really needed anyway? Or maybe you need ripe avocados. Ugh, for tonight, and there are only bright green ones in sight. Okay, go on. We just got to reading about the one about the related 10 polite restaurant habits you don't realize are actually rude. That was the ones we already discussed in the last video, or the last part there before we go on to this. Or maybe you'll get tripped up by the rudeness of a feller. Or maybe you'll get tripped up by the rudeness of a fellow shopper or a. Come on, dude. Sometimes it helps if I fast forward this. Oh, I forgot to push play. That would help too. Okay, blah, 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 blah. Or a grouchy employee. There's no real way to ensure that you have a perfect grocery shopping experience, but you could always make everyone else's day better by being kind and considerate. Yeah, okay, that's not true. But let's move on. Let's read the rest of this, shall we? By being kind and considerate at the store. Check out these tips for ways you can make. Check out these tips for ways you can make your grocery trip better for everyone. Sorry, I had to do that. Like that's me kind of. Yeah, I trying to do like this a blooper, and I'm trying to say this. But anyway, yeah, no. I have to agree with the idea that there's no perfect way to do that. But then again, to be fair, there's no such thing as perfect anyway, except for in our own ways of our flaws. So moving on. But I have to say though that, like, okay, being kind and considerate is, I don't know. depends on how you're doing it. Like, you can't just like go say, "Hey, beautiful," you know. But anyway, so moving on. Um, one of the things I have to admit, I think that's coming up. Hang on, let me look up. Oh, here we are. 1. You add your cart to the train. You're about to push your cart into one of the parking lot corrals when you notice an employee pushing along a line of them back into the store. It seems like perfect timing, so you catch up with them and add another cart to the train. Okay, this is mostly not true, but let's move on. Okay. Unless the person waved you over or stopped to wait for you to finish unloading your cart, you should assume they have all the carts they can handle. Why? Right now, it can be tough to manage pushing all those carts across the parking lot, so you don't want to throw off the balance. That's not true, but let's move on. Okay, let me explain a few things. Okay, I can see how it might be hard for one person depending on how long it is, but I've seen a lot of people go through there, pull a crap ton of them. So it can be true. It just depends on the person. But see, that's the thing. You can never know about that person. But in this instance, I would only say that it's not a perfect idea to go up to them and whatever, but sometimes they'll say that's okay, blah, 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 blah. They'll get it. Okay. But what I do when I have time, and I don't always have time, is I take the buggy inside or to put it in the rails. I don't always do that, but sometimes I put it in there, or I put it right there with the other baskets. I don't bother with the cart train unless the guy says so. I guess anyway. But I will say this, okay? I'm not okay. This thing brings up a good point. A lot of people are saying, "Well, it's courteous to blah blah blah. Take that in there." I'm gonna tell you something. If someone's dying in the car or whatever the case may be, or I have to get out of there in a hurry, I'm going to leave. I don't care. I'll put it to the side where it's not in the way, but I'm not going to put it in the deal or in the store, okay? If there's an emergency going on, and yes, there is an excuse to do that, okay? That is the only exception. Okay? And people should not have to be guilted into it or be like, well, if you don't do this or that, okay, I can understand that most of the time it should be followed, that they should be right there where you can access them. Like Dollar General, I'm caught one day where there was none in there, or what they call pushing carts. That's what they're called anyway when you push them. They have those handle-like things, which are not all that in a bag of chips, depending on what you're getting. It depends on what your budget is. But anyway, moving on. God, what was I going to say? But yeah, I mean, seriously. If there's an emergency going on, if I have to leave in a quick hurry, I will make sure that basket's not in the way, but I am not going to put it where it properly belongs. It's stupid because then as well, not that this is the only reason. Not that this is the reason at all, period, not even only. Then it gives an excuse for people to just park in the yellow zone. You should not be parking in the yellow zone. I don't care who you are. Only a police officer or a significant fire truck should be in those lanes. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Even when I'm dead and gone. You should not be there unless you are those. And you don't have to be one of them to get that. I have seen that, and I'm professional, and it's not cool. Like when I see people park in a fire lane. In a fire lane. And it's not up to me to say anything, I get that. But at the same time, I must tell you, this is what I feel is ridiculous, okay? And when we open it up, not that I think about it ever, and no one ever thinks about this ever, but when you open up those yellow lanes, it's for someone to park their precious bike right there. Whether they are working or not, it should not be parked in a yellow zone. You know what a yellow zone is? It's those lines that they have crossed so they're not where you can park. You should not be parking there. I don't care whether you're a biker or someone who's got a car. Unless you are a fireman or a police officer, even if it is a motorcycle, that's fine. But again, you have to be registered under the law. I don't get why we're not doing something about that. You know, I get that buggies should not be in the way of cars parking. I get that. What I don't get is why in the hell it should matter if it's in the front of someone parking in the where they should not be parking. Like if a cop parks right there or whatever, then that's fine. But half the time, or majority of the time, actually, I should say, is it's not a cop; it's someone who doesn't belong there. Now there are also exceptions when people have family members or whatever, but just a regular general person who doesn't care about the law just parks there, especially in a fire lane, which is those red marks across there, what do they call it, on the brick. You ever seen them over there in front of Walmart and stuff like that? You should not be parking there unless you have an exception to be there. Period. I don't care if you don't like the law. Don't sit there. It's not cool. It's not funny. I don't care what your reason is. You don't belong there. I mean, shoot, if I had the right to have the decency this world has, or excuse me, I should say more like balls, I would go over there and take your vehicle when you're not looking. Or if someone else did it, because that's how ridiculous that is. I'm not saying that it would be, or condone that, or say that it should actually happen, but because a person like you that has no reason to be there unless it's a medical emergency or something like that, then you don't belong there. That is my personal opinion, and that is how I feel, and it's a fact. It's not just my personal opinion, it's a fact. You should not be there unless you have a reason to be there. Now, I'm not going to tell you that directly because I don't know you, and I'm not going to say anything. Even if your dad talked to me, I'd be like, I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't say anything. Because, I mean, literally, that's how ridiculous it is to park when you don't belong. It's like when people park in a disabled zone when they don't belong there. You know? That's what my point is. My point isn't that I should be actually doing that. No. Or that I should, if, and I'm not saying I'm afraid to go do it. I just don't want to because it's not the right thing to do. But even so, it's still not his right to just sit there and be in a zone where you do not have an exception to be there. An exception does not count if you're like, I don't care about the law. Law don't scare me. Yeah, it doesn't scare me either. That's not the point. You still shouldn't be there. That's plain and simple. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, so we've already explained number one. Now let's go to number two. You put things back where they belong. You're about to wrap up your grocery excursion when you notice a jug of milk or a pack of popsicles on a room temperature shelf. Your instinct may be to swoop in and put the product back where it belongs or where it goes. That's the same thing. Maybe you're about to pass the frozen section anyway, but go on. Oh, jeez. What happened? Come on, man. Don't scroll back up. Oh no. Okay, blah blah blah. Maybe you're about to pass the frozen section anyway, but that's not a great idea. You don't know how long the items have been sitting out, and they could be past the point of no return. You don't want to end up causing someone to buy funky milk. Okay, yeah, all right. Instead, return them to an employee. No. Instead, return them to an employee and let them know exactly where you found the item so they can dispose of it properly or return it to the right location. No. And then I'll tell you why you don't want to do that. Okay, yeah, I get the whole idea about the expired milk. Let me just put that in there before I go forward. Yeah, that's fine. But anything else, no. Like if I see bread or whatever, you see that on the floor, if you want to pick it up, that's your business. Okay? All right? Don't leave the milk there. Give it to an employee, I guess. Like that's really a good idea. Actually, no. Take it to the front or call for the manager or something and tell them you want to speak to somebody because this right here is ridiculous. I don't know about that being, it doesn't really matter how funky it is. You need to tell somebody, not an employee. An employee isn't a manager. Yes, it is. It's a manager too, but someone who can oversee the product and make sure that it is gone. That is what you want to do. Not just hand it to an employee. Because believe it or not, I was up there at Walmart. I found a champagne bottle where it doesn't belong. And what did she do? She tried to put it somewhere where it did not belong. So you know what I did? I took it properly by myself, not to get any congratulations or to get anything to do with that. And I'm a disabled person. But I made doggone sure that thing was back to where it was at. And sometimes, if I'm in a hurry, I'll make sure it's close enough to the product, not way the hell in some other section where it doesn't belong. That's ridiculous. Now, I can understand about funky milk or whatever, but dang, okay, like anything else, no. That's crap, okay? That is horse crap. You should not be listening to that. Like, again, hey, get out of here. Anyway. It doesn't matter where it's funky or not, okay? Don't just tell an employee where it's at, you want to make sure that it's getting taken care of properly if you even care. But, and again, it's not about the environment. Stop making it about the environment. Yeah, the environment's important. Yeah, we're not denying that, okay? Even I'm not denying that. But the thing is, if it was all about the environment, then why in the hell don't people want to care? Because they don't. So let's just stop making it about the environment. Like it's the only thing to care about. It's not just about the environment. It's about doing the right thing. It's like when people litter. Don't litter on someone else's property. It is not good. I don't care if it's their job to pick it up. You do not litter anywhere. Don't litter. Okay, maybe if it's out in an open parking lot, I guess it's fine. But if you see an enclosed area like a storage place, do not litter. Do not let your kids litter. Don't litter whatsoever. Do not even let your animals go and take what's out there. Because chances are we have to pick that up. And we're not about to do that. We're about to cite people for that. It is not good. It's not only is it not good for the environment, but it is not a good thing, period. It makes us look bad because, somebody did that. And it's like we're giving you permission to do that. It's bad enough people have to go do this to places that have no restrooms whatsoever, but they have a picnic. Why even have a picnic if you have no restaurants? A picnic tables, I should say. not for the picnic baskets. But you got a picnic table, and people had to go in there and find a way to use the restroom because they can't make it 10, 20 miles. That's too long. And seriously, there are rest stops out there that need bathrooms because it is too many miles away to go there when you have to go, you know what? And don't give me this, well, maybe you shouldn't stop there and eat. Well, then you shouldn't have a rest area at all if you can't let them have bathrooms and a table to eat. I don't care if you don't get nothing to drink. My God, man, it's not the point. You have to have a restroom, at least. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Come on, let's go. Number 3. Number 3. Number 3, number 3, number 3, number 3, number 3, number 3. 3. No? No 3? Oh, you suck then. Okay. Okay. You try to clean up. Something in your cart or someone else's has leaked all over the checkout lane or aisle, so you do your best to help with the spill. You definitely mean well, but you probably don't have the supplies to actually get the job done. Instead of notifying an employee about the spill so they can handle it, getting rid of it yourself could mean trouble for the employee whose job you're doing. Not really. It is absolutely imperative that you clean it up by yourself if you want to do that. And yes, you do have. It's like what I was trying to say earlier. Okay, even if you do have the right materials, chances are you do. But again, pay attention to the environment and know whether or not you have the right one. Make sure you have research. Ask around if you have to, but do it in such a way that just in case you want to do this, you have every right to do so. You don't have to. It's not your job to do it. It's their job. But a lot of times they don't care and they just leave it there and let somebody there. And I'm not saying all employees do this. And I'm not going to sit there and say this like they should be fired because that's ridiculous, because it's hard enough to get good help these days. In fact, it's always been that way. Or get enough good help with things going on. Because an employee can't do everything. Even a manager that's an employee, or a boss and an owner, they are employees. Whether they are not specifically called, they are still employees. And I'm going to tell you something, okay? Even some of them don't care. But another thing is, they can only do so much. So there is nothing wrong with you cleaning up if that's what you want to do. No one says you have to, and no one says you don't. It's up to you. But like the other statement about whether or not you should clean it up, when I say not to do that, well, okay, unless they say don't do that, then, you have every right to do so. If they ask you nicely not to do it, then you follow that. Otherwise, it is other crap when they say that you shouldn't be doing that and you should be getting someone in trouble for it. That's crap, okay? All right? You know why it's so crap? As well as going back to the whole idea is when you go to return a certain specific item where they belong, like bread. You think bread is in every store has been put in a cold section? No. It's just been sitting on the floor. It doesn't matter. I mean, okay, it might got condensation on it, but it's on the bag. It's the bag. It's not like milk. And here's another thing I recommend you do. I forgot to mention this. Check the date on the bag. Always check the date. If the date is wrong, or not wrong, but the date is past the expiration date, then that is when you go and you take care of it properly. You don't have to throw it away. In fact, don't throw it away. That looks bad on the business. Because they're going to ask you why. Instead of all that trouble, just take it to somebody, and tell them, yeah, I found this. Okay, that's what you do. You don't, you know. So no, I'm not gonna sit there and not try to clean it up if I'm gonna freaking clean it up. If I don't want to clean it up, then I don't want to clean it up. It's like when it comes to bathrooms. A lot of times anymore, they're trying to make people clean up the bathrooms when it's not your job as the customer. That is their job. But yes, if you want to, it should be up to you. It is not an obligation because it is their job, and especially because here's the other thing: what if they run out of supplies in there? Is it because the next thing is going to be up to the customer to replace those supplies that's in there? That is ridiculous, especially if that customer has already paid you money. Why should it be up to them anyway, unless they just want to do it? Not just to have to replace supplies. Okay? Because the thing is, if they don't have supplies to clean up the bathroom with either, like toilet paper or whatever, and or if they just run out, well then you cannot literally, be like, well, I shouldn't do that. I should leave it up to them. Or have it be like the customer should be the ones that should be responsible. After all, they dirtied it up. The thing of it is that customers can only dirty up toilets. They can dirty up floors too, but that doesn't mean that they all deliberately do that. There might be some of them in there, and it's been proven that it happened. But the thing of it is that when you think about it, it's just the toilet that's in danger. That's it. And, speaking of running out of supplies, they could run out of supplies and then be like, oh my God, I cannot clean up the floor because there's not enough supplies in here to do it with. Even if they had all the, whatever you call it, detergents and stuff that they're floor to floor, it's not going to work. What if that were, you got to be able to dry it up. Because you never know, somebody else might want to use that restroom and they may have to go. That's not a good thing to leave it like that. So, no. I disagree with that. And I also think that, again, it should be only up to them if they want to do it. Okay? Nothing says that you should or shouldn't have to do it. It's up to you. You're not a bad person if you don't clean up toilets or whatever. You're just not. If that were true, then, hell, as much as toilets get dirty themselves, as many times you use them, no matter how many times you clean them, they're going to get dirty anyway. Then you would be a bad person in general. So no, you're not a bad person for that. The thing of it is that it's about hygiene, or what they think is supposed to be hygiene. No, it's not, okay? That's not it either. It's the fact that it should be cleaned, period. No matter how it gets done, it should be cleaned. That's all there is to it. Plain and simple. And that's how you do it. Anyway, I will see you all in the next episode. Later. You know what's ironic? Wow. So anyway, hey guys, my name is Brian Barnett Gaza here, and welcome back, folks, one and all, to Command and Conquer Red Alert Retaliation, I guess, Skirmish Mode. Or some more of this. And what I decided to do was, I'll splice in another bend here, but I gotta record over it, so it's gonna be one little thing at a time. But anyway, let's get on with it. on. You can't just like that. Okay. Anyway, I'll see you all in the next episode. I gotta go. Falling asleep here. But, yeah. So, just the reason why it's stupid is because, well, it's gonna probably sit there and destroy a lot of my base. But anyway, pause it for now. And I will see you all then later. Alright, so I remember what I was gonna say was that, yeah, what's ironic is, that I actually have, check this out, I'll be right back. I actually have, oh great, I'll be right back. Alright, so what I actually have, as I was saying before I realized I was in another world there, but anyway, let's move on. The longest one next to, which is also going to be probably short, no doubt, because the way the game rolls, is Final Fantasy Mystic Quest. No, wait a minute. Command Conquer Red Alert Retaliation. It's odd. No, I would say because of the activity, because of how much is coming out. But it's ironic as well because of how many videos I have for Command and Conquer Red Alert Retaliation versus, it's not even nowhere near Tales of Destiny. But it has far more than any other ones, besides, not as much as the highest one I have, because, it's Tales of Destiny. But the third one, which we're going to count as the second one, only in the fact of the most active one, because it's what's coming out, and it's Final Fantasy Mystic Quest. Well, no, I could say Avion, but because it's got 3 videos coming out. I guess it'll be done. It'll be over with before you know it. I got up to 8 videos by the time this comes out. So, and I should have pointed out that I don't know why I was thinking about that I had introduced myself, but then again, yeah, I guess it is like a 2-parter. So I'm just gonna combine it all together, but I'm gonna record over most of that and then try to do what I can the next day. Look at this, man. I tell you what. I haven't even begun doing anything for RE2 yet, and I gotta have time, man. I was actually watching a movie. It's a pretty good movie, but I fell asleep because I was just so doggone tired. I don't know. Damn, will you stop? What the hell was that? Anyway. It looks like I could catch up her blood or something. Anyway, so, yeah. And the next one's gonna be, well, it's a code, because, and I intend to come out, but, I don't know. I don't know. I don't remember what I said I was gonna point out, but, if I can manage to do it, Chrono Trigger will be on Monday. I don't know yet. It depends on whether or not what I can do in March. Coming up this month, coming up in so many days. And Strange Games Saturday. I'll just have to wait till I get a PC. So, I don't know yet. I don't know. Trying out you didn't ring. I don't know. There's just so many games I don't really care to play right now, but I may do so in the future. Not because I'm trying to hop on the bandwagon, because I just want to play. I like playing games. Actually, I prefer solo games anyway, not online. But there is one game I may start doing. It's online. Well, no. 2 of them. Well, because, I don't know. I'm not gonna promise anything special, but if I do come out with them, it will be probably around Tuesday, maybe. Thursday, around there, in between. I don't know. But that would be mainly my update day. Except for Halloween. I'll have to skip it out. I don't know. I may not do Halloween. I may just do the whole 3 scary games to make up for it, because I'm not even sure how long I'm gonna be able to continue on this whole thing anyway. I'll try. I really will. But I'm not making any guarantees. I mean, I know I've got like at least how many videos I got? I think like 7 videos of the one I was going to. Yeah, this one right here. When I was actually going to start sending out in Halloween, but I don't have enough for this one yet. I mean, if I can get up to 10, I know I'll make it. But I don't know. I still have to look up things and whatnot. As crazy as that sounds, but I have to. And it sounds really crazy, but I gotta do what I gotta do. Anyway, let me go see if I can finish off this map, and I will see you there. Wow, look how far they've gone. I would definitely say that. Yeah. But because they haven't built up their helicopter port, I can't do anything. Sucks. Oh wow, look at that. Their bridges are kind of glitched out there a little bit. I can tell. Anyway, not that there's not more than one way to get to them. These guys have advanced a little bit, but they haven't really done much. Again, there is literally no point to having two of those. None. It's kind of ridiculous with what they've done with that. Aha, so they didn't do a SAM site. Hmm. Like I said, both sides can have it, but you know. Dang.